Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We have another new first here for me in terms of videos, and I think for a while we will probably still get a few like firsts while I'm still new to creating content here. But we have a new video for me which I'm quite excited about, and it's going to be a mini book haul. But before we get on with the video, I just want to say a massive thank you if you're a returning viewer. Thank you so much for clicking back on this video and for watching and commenting and, interacting with my previous videos. I really appreciate it. And if you're a new viewer, hi, my name is Gemma, and today we have a little mini autumn haul. So if you caught up with my previous TBR video, I did mention in that I'm actually not the biggest book buyer at the moment. I'm trying to get through my current reads on my shelf. Buying and purchasing kind of new books isn't something I massively do, but I have actually obtained quite a few books. Well, for me, it's quite a few books. Other people probably isn't. But over the past probably 2 months, I've gathered a few new books, and I thought I would do a little mini haul and share them. So I've got 8 new, for me, books to share with you today. So let's get started. My first purchase was from a charity shop, and that is Run, Rose, Run by Dolly Parton and James Patterson. Now, I had no idea that this book existed. And when I saw it in the charity shops, obviously I would have seen the spine, and I saw Dolly Parton, I was like, what? So obviously I had a little read. I think it's great that there's a collaboration here. I haven't actually ever read anything by James Patterson before, but I know that he's a well-liked author and he's got loads of books and stuff. So, it's great that I think it's a collaboration with a sort of well-known author. I think it's a really great thing to do. And it's kind of like Dolly kind of showing that, she's not saying that she's written the whole thing herself, she's showing that she's getting advice. So that kind of, for me, feels like it's maybe a little bit more promising as well than maybe some other, none that come to mind, none celebrity books that come to mind, but just in the general scheme of things, it gives me a bit of promise. So I was kind of sold on that. Then I had read the blurb, great. This is the bit that really, the book wasn't expensive. I think it was a couple of quid. But the thing that really then got me was if you scan the QR codes, on the back there's a QR code that you can scan, and it's basically Dolly's made a compilation album, Run, Rose, Run, to the book. And I'm just like, yes, this is what I need. I need a compilation. So I think when you got a book that's about music, you can sit and I sit and visualize what the songs are like. I just want to know what the songs are. I'm a big fan of music. So having an idea of what the song is that they're talking about, let's say it's a great hit, I think is really good. It's one of the things I would have, so last year I read Daisy Jones and the Six, and would have really loved if there was an album that went with that showed the songs. Obviously, I know it's been made into a show. I've not watched the show or listened to any of the soundtrack, but that would have been a really cool thing for that book. So I am so excited that this has got a compilation album with it, and I'm excited to give it a read. It says, find a future, lose a past. She's a star on the rise, singing about the hard life behind her. She's also on the run. Nashville is where she's come to claim her destiny. It's also where the darkness she fled might find her and destroy her. Run, Rose, Run, a story glittering with danger and desire. So I am very excited. And that is book number 1. It was from a charity shop. I think maybe £2 or £3. I don't think it was expensive. But yeah, hardback. So, great price for it as well. And it's in good condition. So that is my first book. So I have actually just realised that I've actually got 8 books. No, did I say 8 before? I've got one more book than I said before, so I think it's maybe 9. And that's because I picked 2 books up from Vinted very recently, and one of them wasn't in my pile because I'm currently reading it, and that is The Shining. So again, in my TBR video, I mentioned that I was going to pick up The Shining and try and give it a read in October, because it's obviously a horror book and it's a spooky month, so I thought I'd try and give it a read. Never read anything by Stephen King before, and I did a quick Google, what was his scariest book, and they said it was The Shining. As you can see, I am very, very early stages, and nothing scary has happened at the moment, but I am giving The Shining a read. So I picked this up on Vinted, again, like a couple of quid, so super great. Again, secondhand, good condition, but this is the second book. In case you don't, to be fair, I didn't actually know what it was about, so in case you don't, Danny's only 5 years old, but in the words of old Mr. Halloran, he is a shiner, aglow with psychic voltage. When his father becomes caretaker of the Overlook Hotel, Danny's visions grow out of control, but as winter closes in and the blizzards cut them off, the empty hotel seems to develop a life of its own. Why are masked guests riding in the elevator, and who is the lady in room 217? Somewhere, somehow, there is an evil force in the hotel, and that too is beginning to shine. that's what this book is all about. I'm going to see how I get on. If I don't finish it in October, because I'm just going to cut it off and stop. I'll only stop if it gets too scary. We shall see. But that's The Shining. So that was Vinted book number 1. And Vinted book number 2 is The Silent Companion. So this is the next book for my family book club. So it used to be that I was in a book club with my sister and my brother, so our sibling book club. But my mum asked to join, so now it's a family book club. And my sister's pick is The Silent Companion. This says, newly married, newly widowed Elsie is sent to see out her pregnancy at her late husband's crumbling country estate, The Bridge. With her new servants resentful and the local villagers actively hostile, Elsie only has her husband's awkward cousin for company. Or so she thinks, for inside her new home lies a mysterious wooden figure, a silent companion that bears an unsettling resemblance to Elsie herself. My sister likes thrillers, mysteries, crimes. She likes them kind of genre. And this is giving me, like, again, a bit of a horror vibe, a bit creepy and scary. She's giving me a scary book, so maybe I'll end up reading 2 scary books this year, because I'm just not scary. I'm not horror anything. But I will obviously read it because it's for the book club and we read each other's books regardless. It does say here, a sinister slice of Victorian Gothic. I can get behind like Gothic or Victorian Gothic books, but we shall see. So that was my second Vinted book. Again, secondhand, a couple of pounds. So super like affordable and easy to pick up when you've got like a book club book that you might just read and then like pass on. So The Silent Companion is book number 3. So the next 3 books are all new and I got them in a bundle at The Works. The bundle was reduced from £10 down to £8 and that was for these 3 books here. Reputation, Infamous and Trouble, all by Lex Crutcher. So if we start with Reputation, which is the first book, now I don't think they're a series. I think, although I'm going to check before I actually start reading them, I think they're just all kind of set in the same world. So the thing that really sold it to me, I thought, I know you shouldn't like judge books by cover, but I like the cover. And then on it says, if Bridgerton and Fleabag had a book baby. And I really like both shows. Like Bridgerton, adore. Fleabag, really like. I actually want to rewatch Fleabag because I thought season 2 was so good. So I really want to rewatch season 1 and see what I thought. But like that sounds everything. So this, I think, is the first book, but I could be wrong. Yes, so in the back of this, it says, you know, if you enjoyed this one, then you'd be delighted to read the next one, which is Infamous. And they put it in that order, so I imagine it is that they're all kind of like follow on from each other, but maybe not the same characters. So Reputation, I will research before I start reading, but Reputation says Regency just got a little more rebellious. Abandoned by her parents in favour of a sea view, middle-class Georgiana Ellers has moved to a new town to live with her dreary aunt and uncle. At a particularly dull dinner party, she meets the enigmatic Frances Campbell, a wealthy socialite and enchanting member of the in crowd. Through Frances and her friend, Georgiana is introduced to a new world of wild parties, drunken Debauchee? I can never say that word. Anyway, drunken parties, mysterious young men with strangely alluring hands, and the sparkling upper echelons of Regency society. I'll put some words on the screen for ones I can't read. But high society isn't all it's cracked up to be, and the price of entry might be more than Georgiana is willing to pay. So it just feels like it's going to be a bit lighthearted, like maybe, you know, a bit of fun, nothing too serious. So yeah, I just fancied them. I fancied a bit of light reading, and I'd seen them in the works before. The £2 in difference in price wasn't like what changed it for me. So I wasn't put off before by the £10, but it was, we were just having a little wander and I just fancied them. So I thought I'd pick them up. So that is Reputation, Infamous and Trouble. We'll do some research to check. I don't need to read them in a particular order, but we'll probably just read them in release order and see what I think. So this next book is also a brand new book, and I am so excited that I got my hands on this. So I got this from the bookshop Hatchards, so it is new, and that is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikawa Kawaguchi. Apologies if I've mispronounced that. But I have wanted this book for a long time and I've not seen it new. You know, when you go into a bookshop, I basically keep seeing the like sequels. So it was mainly the pink one, and it was the gorgeous hardback, and I really loved the colour. The cover, like all the sort of sparkly, shiny detail. So I read the blurb for the pink one and I was like, this sounds really good. I can't remember what the pink one is called. I think it's the third book in the series though. but I didn't realise it was the third book. So then I was like, okay, well, I'll look for the first one. And then I look and it's not there. And then I leave the shop and I forget about it. I went in and there's a fourth book, and I saw the fourth book on display, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go and look and see if they've got the first one. And they did. So before the coffee gets cold, in a small back alley in Tokyo, there is a cafe which has been serving carefully brewed coffee for more than 100 years. But this coffee shop offers its customers a unique experience, a chance to travel back in time. In Before the Coffee Gets Cold, we meet 4 visitors, each of whom is hoping to make use of the cafe's time-traveling offer in order to confront the man who left them, receive a letter from their husband whose memory has begun to fade, see their sister one last time, and meet the daughter they never got the chance to know. But the journey into the past does not come without risks. Customers must sit in a particular seat, they cannot leave the cafe, and finally, they must return to the present before the coffee gets cold. So it just sounds really good. It's not like a humongous book. Yeah, I've just wanted it for a really long time. So when I saw it, had to get my hands on it. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm going to try and get this on November's TBR, I think, because I just really want to read it. So that is the next book. I've lost count of what book we're on. So that's the next book in this little mini haul. The penultimate book for this in this haul it was gifted, so I'm still going to include it, but it was given to me by my mum, and that's because this is our seasonal pick for our family book club. So we take turns picking, and then we always have a seasonal pick at Christmas. Last year we read this really, like, what was it called? Death at Christmas, I think. And it was really odd, like it was a Christmas mystery. This year my mum said she'd pick it and she'd buy the books and give them to us, and she went for something completely different, which is Home Sweet Christmas. Coming home for Christmas, returning to her hometown of Wishing Tree is definitely temporary for Carmen. She can't wait to leave and get back to her real life until she meets Jake. Suddenly, Carmen starts to see the town and its Christmas traditions differently. She thought she'd put her future on hold, but maybe her real life was here all along, waiting for her to come home. New in town, River is charmed by Wishing Tree's Christmas traditions and warm-hearted people, especially Dylan Tucker, whose snow-melting kisses bring her to the brink of love. But Dylan has a secret, and River can't risk falling for him until she uncovers it, even if it means losing him forever. Both women find themselves faced with difficult decisions, but if they are prepared to risk their hearts, they might find that they are about to have a Christmas to remember. So this is completely opposite to last year's like thriller Christmas book. Very Hallmark it feels, very Christmassy. This will be a December read. So The Silent Companion is the next book club, which is going to be read in November. Then this will be our December read. So it's nice to have them both ready, because normally I'm like flailing around trying to find the book, either on like BorrowBox. I mean, I've now recently discovered Vinted, so to be honest, that'll probably be my go-to. I knew Vinted existed, but I just never bought books from there before. But you know what I mean. So usually, yeah, like scrambling around trying to get the book, trying to find an audio book. I don't really read ebooks, but sometimes, you know, last resort. But now I've got Vinted, I'm like, yes. But it's nice to have the two backed up ready. So yeah, that was the penultimate book. The final book I actually got today as I'm filming this, which is October the 23rd. So I actually got it today. And charity shop, had a little wander in the charity shop, and I found this, which I'm very excited about, and that is Find Me by Andre Ackerman. Now this is the sequel to Call Me By Your Name, and I loved Call Me By Your Name. I read the book at uni and yeah, just flew through it, and then I think I'd watched the film first. I can't remember which way I watched it now. I think I read the book first, and I just loved it. I thought it was so, because it was quite a while ago I read it, and I might reread it before reading this, but I just felt it was so, I want to say sensual, but like, I mean like in a scenery kind of way, like scenery sensual, if that's a thing. But it just felt like I was there, like I felt like I was in the place, and I just felt everything. When I knew that Find Me was coming out, I was super excited about it, and I just, to be honest, never picked it up. So I saw it today in the charity shop and I was like, I'm gonna have to get it. It was £1.50, so there was no way I wasn't gonna pick it up. In Call Me By Your Name, we fell in love with Oliver and Elio. Find Me returns to these unforgettable characters, exploring how love can ripple out from the past and into the future. That's probably all I will say, because it is a sequel, and I don't want to ruin if you've never read Call Me By Your Name or Find Me. There is a film adaptation to Call Me By Your Name, and Timothée Chalamet's in it, and that was the first thing I'd ever seen him in, and probably quite an early thing actually for him to be in. So yeah, it's a love story between Oliver and Elio. In Call Me By Your Name, Oliver is kind of going to stay with Elio's family because his dad is I think he's a professor, and it's to study, and they have a kind of summer romance, and it's, yeah, I think it's lovely. So I'm super excited for this book. And yeah, so that is behind me. This is my haul. I think for me, this is huge. Like, I never buy this many books. I mean, not in like within the space of 2 months. I now read a lot more. So the likelihood that I could get these read in a couple of months is so much more normal. But I think this is a big haul. I know other people really will disagree, but for me it is. But yeah, these are my new books. I'm so glad to be able to share them with you. I'd love if you'd let me know what kind of things that you think you'd like from the pack. Have you read any of these already? You know, is there one you're interested in? I'm going to aim to try and get them on November and December's TBRs. And yeah, I'm so excited to read them. Thank you so much for joining. I will be back very soon, probably next week now, with my next TBR, because I can't believe where October has gone. How has October gone that quickly? How are we gearing up for November's TBR? But I will see you very soon. Thank you so much. Have a great time reading. Catch you later. Bye.